When you get your first job, you will most likely get paid in two ways, by direct deposit or by check. Either way, your employer will most likely provide you with a pay stub. This can be online or a physical copy along with your paycheck. Now, what is on the pay stub? Well, let's find out. As you may already know, I am an actress, and every time I perform a job on the SAG-AFTRA union, I keep getting paid for every single time the episode or movie I'm in gets bought, watched on TV, or watched on a streaming platform. That payment I receive is called a residual. So here's a picture of one of my residual pay stubs. Obviously, I have modified some of this information because this is the internet, so I gotta protect my identity. But let's start with, here on the left-hand side corner is the company name. And you'll usually see the logo here. Here's their website, their phone number, which I have also covered, so you weirdos don't go and start calling. Now, this pay stub is technically from a third-party entity, meaning that I don't work for GEP Talent. I worked for CBS Studios, which is why you see the client name here being CBS Television Studios. Underneath, you can see the production title, which is MacGyver, and below is their address and phone number, which I have also covered them, of course. Now then to the right, you'll see my name, my address, super fake address that I've made up here, of course, and you will find something like your social security number, or at least the last four. Sometimes they only do this to protect your identity as well. And to the far right, you'll also find a check number, the check date, the batch number, which I'm assuming this is for internal purposes, some reference ID, and I think this is invoice ID. I'm not sure what that means here, but below it, there is the pay period, which started on January 1st of 2021, and it ended in March 31st of 2021. Now, probably if you are getting paid like weekly, this is probably gonna be like a 1 week difference, but because this is a residual check, they usually calculate it per quarter instead. Now, the tax and work days, you can see how this is 0 and 0. And I believe that the reason for that is because I didn't actually work from January 1st to March 31st, because this is a residual check, right? I wasn't really working those days. Now, my residence is Georgia, and my work state, it was also Georgia because that's where it was filmed. Pence, I believe it means pension, which does not apply to me, so that is blank. Underneath it, you can see tax withheld, which we have federal and residential and work taxes. The status says S because I was single at the time, meaning I wasn't legally married at the time. And this is the withholding, the code is 1, which we'll explain when we talk about filling out the W-4. Now, there are some comments here. What they had was some sort of code that I have no idea what I meant, so I just went ahead and deleted it. And there's also a payroll note. This was blank, so I guess they didn't have any specific payroll notes. But then here there is more details about what the payment is for, and is specifically the episode name and number. The episode name is called Wind Plus Water, and the episode number was season 2, episode 21. The EP product number is some other code for internal purposes. I have no idea what this 1500 means. And the product type was the TV series made for National Public Television, and it was signed by CBS Entertainment, Inc. Now, the principal photo date, which is the date that I actually shot this episode, was February 16th of 2018. And the market run, which is the day of the residual, like my quote unquote work days for when I'm receiving this residual for, was on March 9th of 2021, and it was for FVOD, ad supported streaming. FVOD stands for free video on demand. So more details about it right here, and this is how much I got paid for that. On that day of March 9th of 2021, I actually made $40.32 of people watching the episode that I was in. Now for the fun part, let's talk about the taxes. The taxes, as you can see here, they withheld federal, FICA Social Security Administration, FICA Medicare, and Georgia state taxes. Now, as you can see, the federal, they actually withheld 22% of the $40.32, Because when I filled out my W-4, I gave it permission to withhold the maximum amount possible. Now, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but that is what I told them. So you will tell them, you will have the choice to tell them how much you want to be withheld in terms of federal taxes, up to an extent, of course. Now, for FICA Social Security Administration, that is always 6.2%, and the FICA Medicare is going to be 1.45%, as we have talked about. And for the Georgia state, it is actually 5.75%, because they assumed that I was going to make more than $7,000 per year in total of my income, not just with them, which thankfully is true. But if I zoom out here, you can see on the side that there's a YTD, and YTD stands for year to date, meaning that they not only tell me how much they withheld on this one check, but they also tell me how much they withheld for the entire year up to that point when they sent this check. Because, you know, showing me how much they're taking right now on taxes is not painful enough, right? They got to show me the whole year as well. All right, at the very bottom, you will see that the occupation title was SAG residuals. This is some other code that they use for the union. I have no idea what that meant, so I just, to be safe, crossed it out. And they will basically give me a summary of the entire pay stub right here. So for this current check, it was a gross amount or total amount of $40.32. The amount of the check that is taxable is the whole amount, is $40.32. The deductions, which is after you add up all of these taxes right here, it came up to a total of $14.28. So the check that they actually sent to me, how much they actually paid me, was $26.04. And this is at the bottom, you can see is the YTD, the year to date, of how much they had paid me up to that point. At the very bottom, you see, again, the summary of unemployment info, though, which I will explain in lesson 9 when we talk about entrepreneurship. My employer is responsible for taking out unemployment taxes as well, but they pay that. I don't. So this is pretty much their unemployment code they had for me. I changed it too. And for the state of Georgia, and this would have been their phone number. And that's it. That's your pay stub. And there you have it. Now you know how to read a pay stub. Next, I will show you how to fill out a W-4, which is a form your employer will give you to figure out how much on taxes they should take out every time you get paid. Now, this is super important and you don't want to skip it. So I'll see you there.